2001 Nissan Pathfinder. This vehicle is obviously quite old. It's not, a spring chicken anymore. Like a lot of Pathfinders you'll see on the road today. Plenty of new ones out. But it is a very interesting vehicle. And you can see by the title, it says a rare find, which it's not exactly rare. But here in the United States, getting one of these, the manual transmission they are a little hard to find from what I've seen. So, I'll be taking you guys on a tour of this. First, I'm going to open the engine. Open the hood. Open the engine. Yeah. Well, this is the SE 3.5. Got that Nissan V6. I'm not really sure how extensively they used this engine. Would have to do more research on it. But it is a good engine. It has lasted, since 2001, knock on wood. So it's a good one. Now, this is interesting. There's a little thing you pull right here. Boom, comes out. And so does this side, and you can put things like jack stands and tire irons and whatnot back there. It's got a nice little cup holder over here. This seat has a pocket. This one doesn't. I don't know why, but it's got a nice little light over here that actually doesn't work. The light's broken. It's got this little armrest. No cup holders in there, though. Got some stuff back here. Yeah, it's a pretty spacious trunk. You can fit a decent amount of things back here. It's got one of these. I think this is for like extra storage. I'll have to clean that out. I actually kind of forgot to do that when I was cleaning out the interior of this thing. It's got these little kind of protected. I think these protect the rear lights in some way. Not exactly sure, but they are kind of annoying. They do get in the way often, that SE 3.5 branding. Getting the passenger seat here, it's pretty roomy. You pull the seat up and back like this. This one is a little stuck. It's not really stuck, it's just the tracks are a little off. It's got a little lever back here. You pull that and the seat goes back and forth. Got a nice glove box. It's got a tape deck. I got a cassette aux player, but there are cassettes in here, as you can see in there. It's got a compartment for that and a compartment for that with a little charging port. It's got another one right here, power outlet. Not really sure if this one's kind of loose. I don't know if it fits in there or if this is just storage. It's got some nice AC. It works. Hazards. It's got one of these up here. Not exactly sure what this is for, but whatever. Let's get in the driver's seat. Let's go around front. Oh yeah, the gas cap, you open it up. From there, you press that, and the gas door opens, and you unscrew that, put it back in. There we go. I almost forgot about that. Now this is the driver's seat. Yeah. It does have a transfer case, interestingly enough. Usually I think it sits in too high. That's for normal driving. I'm not going to be using this because I'm not going to be going on terrain where I need to use this, and also it hasn't gone into any of these in probably a very long time, so I don't want to mess anything up. This is how there's a little nozzle back here that I'm twisting. The bottom of the seat comes up and goes down with it. This seat obviously goes back and forth. Let's start this baby up and play with the controls a little bit. Take it out of gear. I'm not really worried about it rolling off while I'm in the driver's seat. It does have a nice little parking brake, obviously, like every manual car should have, or every car. Can remove that cup holder. It's got a nice little tape deck, AM FM radio, which we're not going to listen to. It does have a CD changer, although I do get an error code. I think that's a faulty signal or some sort of thing with the, electrical system that controls this CD changer. I'm not really too worried about it, as much as I love CDs and I collect them and all. I'm not too worried. It's got a nice little AC system. Both heat and cool work, so that's cool. Haha. And put the parking brake down, put it into first gear, and as you all know, if you've watched any of my videos, this is the first manual transmission car that is featured on this channel. Double clutch into 4. That gear's a little, synchros are a little messed up, so I want to kind of baby 4th gear. So yeah, first of hopefully many. I have, this is my new, maybe daily driver. I mean, I don't really need to go places daily, but when I need to drive, I use this. But I've been having a lot of fun with this. I drove it down from New York, which was a very, very fun ride. Let's get this in the 5th gear real quick. It's been really fun to use this. I'm still learning how to rev match, so my downshifts might be a little messy. If you have any tips or comments about it, just put it in the comments, whatever. I mean, can't really keep people from being rude, but tips were greatly appreciated. You can hear those cassettes knocking in this little compartment, which is really funny. Every time I drive I can hear them, but they're old Greek cassettes. There's no reason for me to keep them, but there's also no reason for me to throw them out. So, I mean, this has been a really fun vehicle to drive. I'm having such a good time with it. I mean, it has its ups and downs. It was in the shop for a while, just checking everything out. I'm not a mechanic, so I can't check it out myself, but everything was getting checked out, and, most of it's good now. There's a few things that I want to get sorted out, in the future, but nothing that's super urgent right now. So hopefully this will be a good car for the future, but nothing too crazy, didn't cost much, and yeah, I've been driving it around, enjoying it. And this car, to me, I don't know if it's just me, enjoying it a lot, recency bias, I don't know, some sort of bias, but I feel like this, in a way, as opposed to new SUVs, is kind of a driver's car. You have the transfer case, you have the manual transmission, you have this nice leather steering wheel. Again, I'm still getting used to rev matching, so my downshifts might be weird, my timing might be weird. I very much apologize, but some tips would be greatly appreciated if anybody has any. Although this is I might be driving a little weird this video. I am sitting a little farther away than I usually do, which I kind of have to for these videos. Besides the Grand Marquis video where you can move the pedals back and forth, that's what I kind of have to do for these videos. So sometimes my driving might seem a little awkward. Now, as you guys know, I do work for the USPS, US Postal Service, for anybody living outside of the United States that just happened to click on my video or, you know, to subscribe to my channel. And I work every Sunday, and I have routes that I go on, and one of my routes took me down this way, and when I was taken down here, the first thought I had was, this is such a nice road to just drive through. I could definitely make a POV video going down this road, because I like going on nicer roads and more scenic roads rather than like big city roads and stuff like that. So, but you know, my area, I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere, but kind of not. It's weird. But there's a lot of urbanization around me, houses, housing complexes, so it's a little hard to find routes that I haven't already used. So you may in the future see me recycling some, especially the one I used in the Crown Vic video. I think that route deserves a little bit better of a video. Now, while you're driving on this car, I don't know if you can hear it in the video, but sometimes if you hit like a bump or something, those rear guards, I guess I should call them, over the rear lights are very noisy at some points. They shake and they rattle, and I do want to take them off, but at the same time, I feel like it kind of adds character to the car. I don't know. Like, it's an SUV, it's got to have feature, you know, it doesn't have to have features like that, but having features like that, you know, it kind of adds character. So, I mean, who am I to want to take them off? Now, I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but the interior of this car, at least in my opinion, because I'm a little biased, does look pretty nice. And I yesterday decided to detail the interior. When you drive one of these, you can really feel the boxiness, if that makes any sense. I don't know if it's because, you know, it's my eyes and, you know, my perception of what I see, and, you know, I'm feeling it in that way, but you can really, like, the front, you can really see the boxiness. There are really not that many curves on this vehicle, and I really love that. It gives it a charm. I'm a huge fan of boxy vehicles. There are a lot of curved vehicles that are very nice. You know, NSX isn't boxy by any means, and that is obviously my favorite car. But, you know, I still love the boxy and the curvy, but I like the boxy more overall, you know. And I just really like the way this looks. You know, it has its scratches and clear coat failures, and I think it does have a dent in the back. I'm not sure what that was. It's been there since I've, you know, seen it. And it does have a different shade of paint on the hood due to an accident from the previous owner. But it was in fairly good condition when I got it. I was able to drive it down from New York and, you know, down to Florida, and it was a really grand old time. It handled it well. You know, I didn't push it. I didn't really know fully the extent of what was going on with the car, so I mainly went, you know, 60, 65, and didn't really push it further than that. Gave the car frequent brakes, you know, and didn't shift like a madman and, you know, over rev it or, you know, under rev it and stall, you know, a million times. So I had a good time, and everything kind of worked out. So we'll see how it fares over the next few, you know, months or years. Coming up to a roundabout. I love roundabouts, which is why I decided to do a roundabout for this video, because, you know, I'm sure I have some European viewers out there, and you guys see roundabouts all the time. I live in Florida, so we don't really see roundabouts all that often, which is why you see all these signs. I don't know if they have signs like this and, you know, bumps on the road to prepare you for what's to come. And does not look like anybody's coming, so roundabout. And boom. Fun little ride we got here. Now, this vehicle is, 24 years old, 25 honestly, because 2001s were manufactured in 2000. So the shifts, it can be a little rough. The, bumps on the car, it doesn't have ultimate, futuristic or modern features where everything is, sound deadening and, smooth and all that. And the shifts can be a little rough sometimes, but, that's partially user error, mostly user error probably. In my case, I'm not the smoothest shifter just yet, I'm still a little new. But the shifts aren't super, smooth. It's not a modern car or a new car. It's been, put through a lot, and it's survived quite a lot. It's been through floods. It's been through snow, in life up in New York, which is, a scenario where I would have to use, the transfer case, but we're not really getting any snow in Florida. I mean, next Wednesday it's supposed to be 32 and raining, but it's supposed to be 32 in the morning and then rain later in the day, so whatever, which 32 is 0 Celsius. It's quite cold right now, 40s I think right now, or 50s, I don't know, almost middle of the day, so it's kind of heating up, but yeah. And something I did forget to show actually is the way to get the spare tire out. This is a little rod that the car comes with, and it's in the trunk, and there's a little slot, and you push it in and you kind of twist it like a thread, and you'll undo it, and the spare tire kind of comes out, and yeah. Noticed at the beginning of the video, they do actually have instructions on how to use the transfer case on the driver's side visor, which is actually pretty cool. That's usually something you'd have to go into the instruction manual or the user manual and figure out on your own, or look it up on the internet, or ask your friend back. I mean, the internet did exist back in the day, but not everybody had it. Ask your friend that might own a Pathfinder, but they have it conveniently right here, so it's a convenient vehicle. It's a grocery getter, but it's also it can be a fun Sunday drive car. It's nothing you're gonna go super crazy in because it is an SUV, and SUVs are known to roll over. I don't think the Pathfinder is known to roll over, but definitely has a higher chance of rolling over than a sedan or whatnot. So there's nothing you're gonna go crazy and go drifting and super ham on the throttle and bang all the gears out in record time, 0 to 60 as fast as you can. But it's definitely something you can go out and have a good time with, go around some curves, cruise around, on the beach. Well, maybe not on the beach, but adjacent to the beach. Oh man, it's starting to rain, so I had a little bit of a spasm at the beginning of the video. I'm gonna cut that out, but with the windshield wipers, I haven't really had to use them that many times, so sometimes I get a little I forget how to use them for a second. Because on most cars I use, they have the twirl. This one you push it down and it goes, and it does have a rear wiper. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it working back there, but it does work. Turn it off. I feel like nowadays, obviously, there's, you know, statistically there's less manual transmission cars on the road in the US, and I think it's down to like 2 or 3% of cars on the road in the entire US are manual transmission, which is a bit of a shame to see. I can understand. I like automatics, you know, I love automatics, they're great. But it would actually be pretty beneficial if we here in the US, like Europe, had a system where you had either a manual license or an automatic, or just, you know, that you learned in a manual, just that you can get people more aware of how the car works, how to control it if you ever need to, how to drive one if you ever need to. Sure, you know, you can go your whole life without needing to drive one, but it's good to know. I'm a believer that knowledge is, you know, why not? Why not learn? If, you know, if you can, why not? It's always good to know things, and I feel like driving manual in the United States is looked at, you know, it's given this, you know, stigma, like it's super hard, or it's like only the elite know how to do it, when in reality in South America, Australia, Africa, Europe, Asia, everybody knows how to drive these, and that's usually all they drive. I mean, besides China, I think basically every country teaches their youth how to drive manual, you know. I mean, Canada as well, I think, is the same way as the US, but I think even like in Mexico and Central America, they all drive manual transmission, and I think it's a good way to learn. It's a good way to see if you really like driving, because if you don't really like driving, then you're probably not going to like driving a manual. Or on the contrary, if you don't like driving, you might not like it because it's not involved enough, you know? And I think being able to drive a manual is a lot more involved. It gives you more control, and it helps you learn the way the car works. You know, you press the clutch in, and, you know, it separates, you know, the transmission from the engine or whatnot. I mean, I'm not an expert, so I might be getting things wrong. And you put it into gear, you release the clutch, and it, you know, it goes back and gets into gear, and it goes. Oftentimes, people don't really want to learn things just because, you know, they don't feel like it, or, you know, it's too much work. You know, I don't want to work while I drive my car, but it's not really work. It becomes second nature at some point. You know, I'm shifting through the gears. Even rev matching right now is almost like starting to sink in, and, you know, I'm still learning, but I'm not really thinking that much about it, or as much as I was before. So it always becomes second nature to you. Trash park job. Now, let me show you this. What a wonderful park job. Absolutely awful. Now, you take this bar, you put it in through here, and you'll feel it kind of catch on to the, you know, whatever bit this is. I don't really know. And you twist it, and the spare tire kind of comes down on this little, like, platform. And yeah, it's a pretty cool mechanism, actually. Not really a mechanism, but it's pretty cool, to be honest. This is the dent I was talking about. It's nothing huge, but you can see it. So yeah, that is the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys can subscribe. Again, I'm always going to apologize at the end of my videos, because that's, you know, the kind of person I am. I feel bad if I, you know, waste your time or, you know, whatnot. But I feel like at some points I was rambling on too much, or there might be too many cuts, or you can't see enough of the, you know, the cockpit, as I like to call it. Or, you know, I'm not talking about anything specific, or my driving is weird, or the camera angle sucks. But I'm going to be getting better, and I might stop apologizing at some point, but you know, no promises. So yeah, it was a fun video. If you guys want to see more, then, you know, put it in the comments, you know, like my blog. I started a blog, and I might, you know, do a review of this next. The review I started the blog with was the LLV, which, you know, naturally I wanted to review because there aren't that many reviews out there on it, and not that many POV videos on it. So I think it's, you know, probably for good reason, but I think that's a good way to start. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to see more, please subscribe. The LLV video got a ton of views. I'm really appreciative of that. And a ton of likes and a ton of comments and a ton of support. So thank you guys for that. And, you know, I might have some more cars lined up in the near future. So if you guys like what you see, please subscribe. It'll help me, you know, get access to more cars and have more videos for you guys and more reviews out. So yeah, see ya.